All right, so you are now live with Dave, Jose, and Sandra are in. We're getting ready to bring you some fire. All right. So all of you who've been going through cases with CPS, with child support enforcement, traffic court, all these different entities that have been seeming to just run people over and railroad people, we're going to come out today and we are daring any judge, any attorney, any government official, any legislative body member, and anybody else who want that smoke, right? We are daring you to come on and to disprove what is being said today. Now, if you're looking for real remedy, I want to discuss some things and show you that something is happening when it comes to jurisdiction. Something is happening when it comes to the people's rights, that it is not in the best interest of attorneys, if they want lots of cases, to tell you the truth. And so what we're going to do today is break these things down, as Sandra and I always do, to simple terms. We are going to show you in their own statutes, own laws, that they're defrauding you. And then we're going to explain to you how they're defrauding you and how we all get justice and how we all get peace. All right. So it's going to be pretty simple. Sandra, you ready?
Hello, everyone. Almost ready. I'm setting up my screens here. I am so excited to be here. As you know, I love uniting people and bringing in information that can be useful to you, to somebody else that may need it. I do believe that, you know, the remedy is going to be in all of us learning from each other and coming together and exposing, like David Jose said, exposing what's going on, because a lot of people just don't know. But when people find out the fraud that's connected to CPS, connected to associations such as the bar, which of course there's good people in all of those places as well. This is not an attack on any individual. We all have a choice and an opportunity to be better people, to choose the rights of the people over our self-gain. And that's what I'm here for. So I'm excited to be here with David Jose. As some of you may know, I am a nurse as well. So I do take that profession with high integrity. And I'm just excited to be here and see what we got. What do you have, David Jose? Because when you're this excited, I know it's really, 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 really good.
All right. So the first thing I want to do, let me pray real quick.
Yes, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing the people to be able to come together. Please let us show in simplicity what is happening and break this thing down. Father, we ask that you let my phone hold off from dying so that I can be able to hear what is being said. But we know that the microphone is working so the people can hear me. So Father, let things work out the way that they need to. Father, help the people to see the truth in simplicity. Let us break down these walls, this fraud, all these things that are happening to take the property and the rights away from the people, and let us see today the truth. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So for everybody on Facebook, we are going to be able to read the copy, the words off the live video. So let me see if I can, I'm sorry, read your questions or anything that's said. So let me see if I can get in there and see the comments. Okay, I see Sheila, Faith, Love on there. I see Holly. I'm not echoing, so this is good. Now, would your live be the same as the live on my page if people are making comments? It should be the same, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so what we're going to do first, guys, I'm going to say something super strange that is possibly going to challenge the way that you think. First of all, I'm going to say something that is really harsh, and people will think that it makes no sense what I'm saying, but then I'm going to prove exactly what I'm talking about with evidence from government officials themselves to show you that our rights have been trampled and people are applying stuff to us that does not apply. So the first thing that I'm going to say is the statutes or codes or ordinances in your state have nothing to do with average everyday people. It does not control you. It does not bind you. And some people are going to say, well, David, how is that possible? Why are you saying that? How can you say that? Because people are trying to force vaccines on you today, right? That's the idea. People believe that they're able to force vaccines on you. People believe that they are able to forcibly take your car, take your kids, take money from you for child support. They believe they can do whatever they want to do to you. Am I right or wrong? Can we get some audience participation? Let me know through Facebook comment if you believe that people are taking your cars, houses, rights, locking you in the house, locking you down, shutting you down, and making you believe that the government has the power to make ordinance for you, statutes or law for you. Does the government have this power? Now, Sandra, I sent you some pictures. I would like for you to organize them, because what I'm going to do is start off helping people to see that there's two different branches of law. One branch of law deals with the people and their affairs. The other branch of law deals with government persons or people who decide to work for the government, right? Now, that might sound crazy, right? But if I could, I would like Sandra to go share your screen. Do you know how to share your screen and go on the internet?
Oh, you want to go on the
Okay.
internet? Yes.
Not the affidavit. Let's go to the one that is the common law one. So it's a picture and it's a definition from Black's Law 5. It says common law. Sarah Horlick. Let's see, Quintanar. My name is David Jose. It's nice to meet you, ma'am. What I'm going to do is show you something from Black's Law 5 right now. This is the Black's Law Dictionary, number 5. Not the common law one. I'm not the private law, because Trump just explained plain private law, and I'm going to show the differences. So
is it this one?
No, it's the one image set 1-7 up to the right there. There you go. Now I want everybody to see this, because we're going to find out that whenever it comes to the people, we should be moving by what's called the common law. Whenever we're dealing with government officials, they use what's called statutory law. They're going to use the statutes to determine how they deal with each other, but it has nothing to do with the people. Now, here's how I'm going to prove this to you. This is the definition of common law, right? Notice it says at the top, go up to where the dot is, Sandra, please. As distinguished from law created by the enactment of legislatures. Now, here's what I'm going to let you see, and we're going to use a little bit of deduction to understand this. The common law definition says it is distinguished from the law created by legislature or by the enactment of legislature. What does that tell you? The law that's enacted by legislature has nothing to do with the common law. Can we see that and agree? Sandra, is that making sense?
Yes.
Okay, so the law that's created by the legislature has nothing to do with the common law. All right, so I want everybody in the audience to say like if you understand this. Now, Sandra, when my phone shuts off, I'm not going to be able to hear. So I'm going to need you to be able to tell me what the people are saying. Or I don't have my cue to plug up my phone. I'm sorry. Oh, wait. No, it only has one. Dang it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're realizing now that the common law, whatever the freak it is, right? Because nobody tells you about the common law and explains it normally. The common law, whatever it is, has nothing to do with any enactment of the legislature. So if somebody is going to force one of the people to do something, we better hope, or they better hope, that it is not something that's covered in the common law. Because if the government can only make statutory law that is distinguished from common law, whatever they're using to try to enforce something on the people must have to do with common law, right? And I'm going to prove it. So let's go back to those pictures.
Okay.
Actually, I may not have. Let's see what you got. Did I send you a statute in the pictures? Okay, what I'm going to have you do is go to the internet.
Okay.
Okay, check this out, y'all, because this is going to blow your mind. So we're going to type in, we need an internet browser, ARS, A.R.S. Watch what y'all about to see. Now I'm going to show you with Arizona. It's the same in every state, and it's been hidden from you. Put in 1, ARS 1. Okay, now watch this, y'all. Now what's going to happen here is the Arizona statutes are going to explain what the statutes cover when it deals with government officials and companies compared to when it deals with the people. I'm going to show y'all something. So the people have a special class. Push enter for me. Okay, so what I want you to do is, let me see. Do you see where it says Arizona statute? Nope, it's talking about a pharmaceutical company. Okay, A.R.S. Put in Arizona statute. There you go. Okay, now, no, because it's going to pick one. Go down to 1 right there. There you go. Okay, click on definitions. No, I'm sorry. Let's go to the one right, the second one. This is azledge.com or .gov. Now, everybody pay attention to this because I'm going to show you something that the Arizona State Legislature has shown. Let's scroll down, general provisions, right? Let's go to where it says 201. See where it says adoption of common law? Don't government officials tell you that there is no common law anymore? Let's hit on the 1201. Watch this. Everybody pay close attention. You got people who are physical entities, and you have government offices, which are on paper, which are corporate entities, persons, right? And companies. Let's look at when it talks about the common law. Who in the world are we discussing? Adoption of common law exceptions. Now watch this, y'all. When is the common law used? Notice that it said that the common law is distinguished from any law made by the legislature, right? So let's see what the common law is for. The common law, only so far as it is consistent with and adapted to the natural, not corporate, not dead things, not persons, natural and physical conditions, meaning real people that really exist, that walk around, talk, and breathe, of this state. Now watch this. This is where it's going to get serious, because people aren't telling you about the different standings and status. They're not telling you can stand as one of the people. They'll let the court assume that you're a person and start taking your stuff. Now I'm going to prove to you that the only thing that the courts can use when they're dealing with the people is the common law. Watch this. And the necessities of the people thereof. See, anytime one of the people is involved in a court case, watch this. And not repugnant to or inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, which was created following the common law, or the Constitution or the laws of this state, which are created to follow the common law, or established customs of the people of the state, which is the common law, is adopted and shall be the rule of decision in all courts of this state. Now, if the common law is to be the rule of decision in all courts of this state, But the common law just was shown to you as being not anything created by the legislature, which makes statutes. How is it that the statutes apply to the people? The common law is distinguished from all the legislation or enactments made by the legislature. Did y'all catch that? Sandra, are you catching that? Okay, so let's go back so we can see, because in Arizona it says anytime you're dealing with the people in the state and their necessities, what they need, what they care about, the rule of the decisions in all courts of this state shall be the common law, which no attorney shows you. The common law. They keep showing you statutes. But I just proved to you that the common law is distinguished. It is different from any statute the government makes. So when you come against them and say, I don't want this shot, any legislation they make does not apply to you. The common law applies to you. So if they want to take you to court to force you to get a shot, they can't use the statute, because the statute is the legislative dictates or mandates or what they want for persons, not people. Now I'm gonna prove it.
Can I
Go
say
ahead.
it in layman's terms? Like,
Go ahead.
I think of it as, you know, it's like an employee manual. You know, the statutes are it's an employee manual. It really applies to the employees of the corporation.
That's right.
Not really to the people. And they're supposed to be providing a service to us, right? We are paying for those services, just like when you go to Walmart or any other store.
Yeah.
We really should be demanding that we get the right service, not that they come on and take over. But
That's right.
we're starting to see it spill over even in the most basic forms, right? You can go to Walmart now and expect to be harassed to wear a mask against your own will. And that's
now, you know why they do that?
Normalize, right?
They do that because those entities are incorporated through the state. So the state partners with them by giving them a license.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, hey, public store, we don't want to run over the people's rights, but we'll get you to do it.
Right. They fine them. They threaten them with fines that are larger than the fines that, you know, I guess people are threatening with. So it's just, the businesses are stuck with that license, trying to follow what the state is demanding of them, right? They're acting like a mafia on the businesses. And then
we
they're
can
pitting
show
them
that they
against
can't
the
do that
people.
though. We can show how to break it. Can you see, Sandra, where the physical conditions and natural conditions of the people and their necessities are bound by the common law? So every court in the state, when they deal with one of the people, they can only use the common law. The common law is totally different from the legislative enactments. So can you see where if they take you to court and they use the statute, it's not the common law, because the common law has nothing to do with statutes. All right, go back to the picture so I can prove it to the people. So the picture we just had up, that's talked about the common law. Because we see every court that deals with the people shall be under the common law. Okay, common law, as distinguished from the law created by the enactment of the legislature. The legislature can't make law for the people. Only the common law is the law for the people. The common law comprises the body of those principles and rules of action relating to the government and security of persons and property. Okay, so the government's sole job is to secure your property and your rights. So if they're going to deal with one of the people, they have to acknowledge your rights. They can't make a law to go against your rights. Can we see that? Now, what I want you to do is go back to the law one. And I want to look at the definitions that they have for a person, because nobody's telling us the difference between people and person where we can see it in their own law. So let's click back one.
The picture?
No, the law on the left side. No, yeah, that. Does it go backward or does it not let you? Okay, see where it says ARS title page? Okay, now what I want you to do, this is going to talk about the law as they have it. So what I want you to do is go to where it says definitions, 215. Oh no, right there. Okay, so this is the definitions in the statute. So let's go down to where it says person. Okay, my phone down to 10%, so I'm gonna run out pretty quick. So look at what it says for person. So they talked about the physical conditions of the state, which deals with the people. The ones that are not physical in the state are the statutes that deal with persons. Let's see how they define person. They don't define person as one of the people. They say it includes a corporation, a company, a partnership, a firm, association, or society, as well as a natural person. Now here's the problem. How the freak do you define the word person and then use the term natural person? You see that? You don't do that in definitions.
They
Now
didn't
watch
say
this.
people, right?
Huh?
They didn't say people.
They didn't say people for sure. They know how to say people because they said it in the other definition. But they say natural person because they know natural person is a entity that they created called a natural person, which is a legal entity because it took a position as a person. So a man who decides to work as a person in government becomes a natural person, but that's not one of the people.
Someone who decides to work. I think
There
that's
you
the
go.
major key that our people are missing.
That's
You
the
have
consent to be
actually
governed.
consent, right?
You get hired as a job, you make an oath, and now you're trapped, right?
Right.
Now watch this.
Exactly.
The word person is used to designate the party whose property may be the subject of a criminal or public offense. The term includes the United States, this state, or any territory, state, or country, or any political subdivision of this state that may lawfully own any property, or a public or private corporation, or partnership, or association. When the word person is used to designate the violator or offender of any law, it includes corporation, partnership, or association of persons. Aren't those all corporate entities that are not real or alive? They exist only on a freaking piece of paper.
Correct.
So when they're talking about the violator of the statute, they always say the word person. They never say people. Why?
Because they want to avoid that. And now the
They want
words
the
are
people to
important
believe.
because they all have different definitions. So for those of you who may think that they're interchangeable, the terms individual, person, people, vessel, there's other terms, or as we just learned, natural person, none of them mean the same thing. They all have definitions.
And that's why they have to define it, because it doesn't mean the thing that it would normally mean. Now, here's what's deep. Let me see if I can charge up my phone so I don't lose it.
And that's what's called wordplay. This is why what we're uncovering really, that we have been deceived through the changes of the terms throughout the years. So that's why when you look at terms or legal terms through the Black Laws books, you can see through the editions how the terms have been changed so that the people that are learning, the new people that are learning the law, okay, they are learning it wrong. And I've seen that pattern as well in nursing school or in medicine and medical school. Oh, I'm getting an echo. As you know, for example, with vaccines or with other things that are actually health related. So there's an issue here with the information being distorted and hidden from us so that it is taught wrong. And that's where we are now, right?
Yep. So we can clearly see that person is different from people, right? Can everybody who's watching the video clearly see that the term person means something different than the word people. Let me know if y'all can see this, because in Arizona, I just proved that the common law is the law that is to be used in every court decision, but the courts are making decisions to take your kids based off of statutes. Take your car and they quote a statute. Take your house and they quote a statute. And the only reason they're getting away with it is because you're not coming into the court and nobody's telling you to say, hey, guess what? I am not a person. I am not a corporate entity. I am here as one of the people. Where in the state constitution did you get the power to govern over the people? Are we understanding that? See, in our minds, we have been taught to believe that we are bound by the statutes. And I see it every day. Everybody's chasing the legislature saying, please don't make a law saying that you could take our kids. Please don't make a law saying that you could make us get a vaccination. Please don't make a law forcing us to do this or that, not realizing that they don't have the power to make a law that they could use in any court to go against us as the people. So let's look at some of those pictures, Sandra, if we can. Can I get some feedback on Facebook? Can you guys let me know if you understand this? Okay. What's that one, Sandra?
This one here.
Let's see.
This one's private law.
Okay. So Trump mentioned private law in his executive order the other day. So let me read to you what private law is. Private law is that part of a civil law legal system which is part of the just commune that involves relationships between individuals, such as the law of contracts and torts, and the law of obligations. It is to be distinguished. Y'all see that distinguished word again? Is different from public law. Now, the government officials got authority, guys, under the public law to handle our business and protect our property and rights. Trump spilled the beans and told that they are using private law. So if you're using public law, that's the only place where you got authority as government officials under the Constitution. And anytime you deal with the people, you can only use the common law. So the CPS, the traffic court, the child support enforcement court is trying to use private law against you as if they have contracts with you. And they don't. And then what they want to do is force you into a contract using government power, but then they want to use private law against you to take your stuff. So they want to use public law authority that we gave them, but then use private courts like we got some secret agreement together to let them take our stuff. Now I'm gonna prove it to you. Watch this. Which deals with relationships between both natural and artificial persons and the state, including regulatory statutes. Did it say people? Persons and the state. Regulatory statutes. See, the statute is for the persons, not for the people, because the people's courts have to move only by common law. I'm not going to just tell you. I'm going to prove it to you. See, common law is what a court of record moves by. If you look at Black's Law 4 and every Black's Law before that, it will show you that the court of record moves by the common law. When they take you into these private courts, they're not really courts. They're legislative tribunals that got a ton of statutes that are the rules of court, and they're saying that you are a corporate person or a government worker that approved these statutes and said that you want to work for them. Watch. I'm going to show you. Watch this. Relationships between both natural and artificial persons of the state, including regulatory statutes, penal law, and other law that affects the public order. Where if there's public order, it can't be in the private. Because if you're in the private, that's your private affairs and is not bound by the government and the public. People are in the private. Watch what it says. In general terms, private law involves interactions between private individuals, where public law involves interrelations between the state and the general population, which is persons and government officials and government workers, right? Now, let's go to the Arizona Constitution, and I'm gonna show y'all something. See, your forefathers were so brilliant that they made it so that the states were bound by the real law. And the states are so slick, and the attorneys, that they're trying to keep you from knowing the real law. So let's go up to the top and put in Arizona Constitution. And we're gonna yeah. Okay, watch this, y'all. We're gonna go deeper now. So are y'all following? The legislature does not write common law. Common law deals with the people. Everything that the legislature writes is different from the common law. You can hit on that one up top, az.ledge. So if everything the legislature writes is different from the common law, but every time they deal with the people, they have to use the common law, section 6. If everything that they use, or article 6, I'm sorry, everything they use has to come from the common law. Let's go down. So we're going to click on the judicial department, number 6, and then we're going to go down because it's going to pop up below everything. And what we're going to do is, let's scroll. Let's see, let's go up, I'm sorry. Go to section 30. So the legislature in Arizona has it, the Constitution of Arizona has something inside of the law. The Constitution says, courts of record, section 30, the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, and the Superior Court shall be courts of record. Courts of record means that they have to move by the common law. They generally have a seal. The tribunal, the one bringing the law, is separate from the magistrate, the person in the black robe. That's why when you go to CPS court, traffic court, you go to child support enforcement court, the person in the black robe like, hey, look, we don't like what you did. We're going to go ahead and remove some of your rights. We're going to take your car. You're going to pay us a fine. You're going to pay us this. Well, where did you get the authority to do that? Statute 4252526 says that we can take your car, house kids, take your babies and sell them to Afghanistan, whatever we want to do. Did y'all not catch that all these courts are to be courts of record when they deal with the people? They have to use the common law. But every one of your court cases is brought in by a statute as if you're a corporate person. They're not showing you the difference between the common law. Yes, ma'am, Deborah. We need to know the common law. Deborah Jorgi, please forgive me, or Horgi, please forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. We have to know the common law because the common law tells you they can't take your stuff. Now I'm going to show y'all where to find the common law. See, a dumb cop will come up to you and say, I could take your car because of statute 252.26. I could take your kid with CPS worker because 2.2526. But if you're one of the people, I'm going to show you how much protection your wonderful forefathers gave you. Sandra, can we back out of this and go to the beginning of the Constitution where it says Declaration of Rights? Now, y'all help me understand this. If they tell you that they could take your car, but the jury didn't do these things I'm about to show you, we gonna have a problem. On the right-hand side, Sandra, you see where it says section 1? Watch this. This is why we have to learn the common law, Deborah, as you so perfectly stated. A frequent recurrence. See, we're in trouble now, guys, not because we are dumb, not because we need a guru to teach us to be lawyers, not because our forefathers didn't give us all the information we need, not because we need to pay people to teach us to be like them and we don't get enough remedy because there's not enough of us who know the law at the same time. Your forefathers gave you the answer, and we have to frequently go back to the fundamental principles or we'll become slaves. This is how you destroy the slavery they're using against us. I just proved to you that the government does not have the power to make a statute against the people. Did I not? Sandra, does it look like I was able to show that?
Yeah, you
Watch
did.
this.
Mm-hmm. I love the way that you always bring proof to everything you say, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that you readily bring proof to everything you say. I mean, that's obviously important. So I just want
Thank you so much, because I want the people to be able to stand. Watch this, y'all. This is common law right here. A frequent recurrence to fundamental principles is essential to the security of individual rights. The government don't want you to know you got individual rights, meaning you got rights that ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. If you don't want the freaking shot, your state constitution tells you have individual rights. And the perpetuity of free government, that means the continual existence of free government. Let's go back and we're going to look at number 2 so I can show y'all why these people can't write statutes for you, y'all. Watch this. All political power is inherent in the people. If you have all the power, how is somebody that you hire to handle your business going to make a law for you? They're making statutes for themselves, and I'm going to prove it. We as a people, guys, we govern ourselves. We decide to be good or be bad. We don't have some government over us in America that tells us to be good or bad or what to do or when to eat our Wheaties or to smoke cigarettes or not smoke cigarettes, right? All political power is inherent in the people, and governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. Now, they're going to rule over somebody, and whoever they rule over has to have consent. The people didn't say they could rule over us. The people said they can handle our business and protect our individual rights. So how the freak are they going to remove your rights in a custody case, remove your rights to your car, to your house, to your dog, if they don't have all political power? You do. Watch this. What are governments established for? Are established to protect and maintain individual rights. That means if you don't want the shot, they can't force you. If you don't want to hear that bull, they can't bring it to you, right? But they want you to believe that you're slaves to a system, that you belong to them. Oh, your mother signed a birth certificate, so we get to rule over you. That's poppycock, right? Let's go back.
Yeah, they really are trying to impose that, and I think a lot of people are waking up to it because we do have that natural rights. I mean, we know that this is not right. We know that forcing things that are making our children sick is just not right. We know that removing children from homes for nonsense and I mean, it's just incredible the stories that I hear. So
let's go back one so
okay.
we can show them more common law. So here's more common law. So y'all know how they're doing these government, hit section 3. This is gonna be beautiful. Y'all know how, oh no, up top, I'm sorry, on the right-hand side. Section 3, y'all know how they're using COVID government program and they're shutting down the state and ain't telling y'all they're making money off of the program? I'm gonna show y'all how y'all got power over the whole COVID. See, they tell you, if there's an emergency, we get to take all your rights away. Shut the freak up. Attorneys say that, attorneys, this is your cue. Bring your behind on here and say I'm lying with this. Attorneys, judges, anybody who's in any position, legislative members, come on here right now and say that I'm lying, and this is going to be the time where you're going to get the education of a lifetime in front of everybody. So please do. I'm daring anybody to say some stupid junk when I talk about this. See, the government, people want to say, oh, we have the emergency powers doctrine. Shut the freak up. My parents didn't write nothing in the Constitution. My forefathers called the emergency power doctrine where you get to suspend the Constitution, dummy. But I'm going to prove to you that when y'all try to do y'all dumb federal programs where y'all want to make everybody scared, act like everybody's dying, it could be real or imagined, you think you're going to shut down the government. I'm going to prove that our forefathers were so smart that they decided to protect their freedoms by saying you can only limit your personnel and your freaking self. Now argue with me, please. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Section 1, supreme law of the land, authority to exercise sovereign authority. So now our forefathers, and this was done in 1990, so our people are going to explain what sovereign authority the government has. Because the government wants you to believe that they have sovereign authority, right? Over everybody. Let's see who they got sovereign authority over. Watch this. The Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land, to which all governments, state and federal, subject. Did it say all people?
No.
It said all government is bound by it, right? Okay, so all government, state and federal is bound by the federal, by the federal Constitution. right? They ain't got nothing to do with the people, right?
Right.
Okay, now this is gonna get deep because the people aren't bound by the Constitution.
Right.
Section B.
A lot of people do believe that still. They
That's
believe
the
that the
crazy thing.
Constitution.
If we got
yeah.
people out here teaching us that we're bound by the Constitution, we ain't even sign up.
Right.
We created the Constitution so they could be our indentured servants. That gives them the power of a slave at most, right?
Right.
An indentured servant, the type of slave that you pay for that becomes like your maid because they chose to. The Constitution is a trust indenture. They don't have the power to tell you they're going to shut down your state. You are the state as the people. They are not.
Right.
They're just workers. Watch this.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Look at how smart your people are to protect the people's freedom. Oh, so for this part of the Constitution, you're doing this to protect the people's freedom? Oh, okay. And to preserve the checks and balances of the United States Constitution, watch what this state is allowed to do. This state may use its sovereign authority. Oh, they talk about this sovereign authority and police power, right? We got this police power that allows us to take all your stuff and do what we want to do. Yeah, that's a really cute dream, ain't it? That's your political wet dream, that you got something called a police power that says you could take the people's rights. Well, that day is over with today. If the people share this video, that game is freaking over. So let's see what their sovereign authority is. This state may exercise its sovereign authority to restrict the actions of its personnel. You remember those persons I was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Personnel. So they have the power to restrict the actions of its personnel. Did it say the people?
No, but they do know the word.
You mean you're going to restrict my ability to go to the store unless I wear a mask? The freak you mean you're going to make me take a shot? I don't work for you, you freaking clown. Right? I'm going to make it plain for the people today. People on Facebook, let me know if you're understanding this. This state may exercise its sovereign authority to restrict the actions of its personnel and the use of its financial resources to purposes that are consistent with the Constitution by doing any of the following. They could pass an initiative or referendum. They can pass a bill pursuant to Article 4. They can pursue all other legal remedy. But let me show y'all how powerful we are. Yes, you can, Deborah. If the people, right? Didn't I tell you about the power of your status as the people or their representatives? Did it say the people through their representatives? Did it say the people by their representatives? Did it say the people if their representatives talk to the bar members in the House and the Senate and they say it's okay for you to do this? Or did it say the people or their representatives can exercise their authority? Watch this. If the people or their representatives exercise their authority pursuant to this section, this state and all political subdivisions. See, your state and your political subdivisions are using federal funds programs to shut down your state so they can get money for COVID. Right. In your hospitals, they're making $13,000 per person they say got COVID per diagnosis. Yeah. They're getting $39,000 for every person they put on a vent for a federal program. That's why Trump is saying, hey, let's just stop these tests, because they know that with every test they do, they get another 13 grand based on the Social Security Act, Title 42, Section 4409. So watch this. This state, if the people want them to, if the people, who got all the power? If the people or their representatives exercise their authority pursuant to this section, this state and all political subdivisions of this state are what? Prohibited from using any personnel. Now, hold on now. The judge is a personnel of the state. The legislative body members are personnel of the state. The agencies are personnel under the state. So it says, listen, if you got a CPS program, if you got a Highway Safety Act program where they're taking your cars and they're making money off of it, if you have a child support enforcement case, it's all federal programs, y'all. So if you, as the people, say you don't want them using the state personnel or the state financial resources to enforce, everybody want to talk about enforcement. We got people on Malika's video yesterday who were Moors who were saying, hey, or Hebrew Israelites, hey, all of this don't matter if we don't have no enforcement. What the freak are you talking about? They're using federal programs against you, and our forefathers put in our law that they can't even use our personnel or finances of the state to do a case against you. That's a federal action or a program. You talking about where's my remedy? Your remedy is you are the power in the Constitution as the people, and they've been hiding this from you. They can't even use the program against you. You have an individual right to say you cannot use the state resources to come against me in a federal child support action, a federal CPS case action, a highway safety act action. Why? You are prohibited from using any personnel or financial resources to enforce, administer, or cooperate with the designated federal action or program. Who has ever showed you that the common law of the people says if you bring a dumb case against the people and we don't want you to, we can shut down your whole federal program? That's how much power you got as the people. Did y'all know the vaccine court is a federal program? They're using the vaccine court to tell the people that you can't sue them when they let a company that makes money force your kids to get shots. And the dang law shows you that the people at any time can say, hey, get this dumb program out of our face. Y'all can't use our money for it anymore. You can't use any judge, any freaking officer in the whole freaking state that's the personnel of the state. None of y'all can participate in this garbage. See, they're attacking the people in all these different areas. Everybody's chasing the government saying, can y'all make some statutes for us that say that we can have rights? You don't need that. You have all the power. You are the greatest when it comes to this world. God told you to have dominion in Genesis chapter 1, 26 through 28 over everything. Your forefathers were brilliant and put it in the constitutions that you got dominion over everything. How many people have slowed down to show y'all what the real common law says? See, people arguing and saying, the statutes ain't for you. Don't just tell me the statutes ain't for me. Show me so I can stand on something solid, get my kids back, get my cars back, or the money for it if they sold it at auction and somebody didn't tow my car up, get my houses back, get my dogs back, stop my kids from getting these stupid shots, right? I'm sorry, y'all, I get worked up, but this is serious business.
Right.
So let's go back. Let's go back. We're going to see some more common law.
Thank you for taking the time to share what you have been learning, because you've had to learn this, right? I mean,
yeah, but it's so simple. It's in plain English. Once we learn it, we're fired. Hit section 4 for me.
Section 4?
On the right side. We're going to do the right side for now. Now, I'm going to show y'all some more stuff that shows you your power. Because the thing is, we got too many people in the movement who know a little bit of stuff and they ain't telling everybody so they could charge you a bit at a time. Screw that. We got to win and have victory. We need to know where our remedy is. Now, right here, you're going to see where this says person, but that's your political status. The people already can't be deprived of life, liberty, or property. So you got to teach it for the persons too. Even if you get hired in a government job, right, it says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So due process of law written right here was here before the statutes were created. So whatever they're talking about due process of law, as we've seen in the common law, ain't got nothing to do with a statute. They don't get to write out how much permission they're going to give you to have a jury. They don't get to write out that they're not going to interfere with you in your private affairs. They don't get to write a statute that says you're guilty before you go before a jury and have a real trial with real evidence. This is the remedy, Candace. If we know what the law says, then we can use it against them. If you paid attention in the beginning, I don't know if you were here, if you understand you are one of the people, You have a totally different class or branch of law than what they're showing with persons. So let me show you. So it says, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Your car is your property. Going to work is a liberty interest. Doing your business is a liberty interest. What do they mean? They're shutting down your bar, shutting down your business. You can't do that. Taking away your life, shooting you on the side of the freaking road with no jury, right? They're giving you the death penalty with no jury. And they shouldn't even be pulling you over. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Sandra.
No, you're right. Let's take a minute here to explain why, though, it is that we don't, like, you know, at this time, we don't have, we're missing something, right? We're missing, in the common law, we really should already be organized. And this is something that I am also working with on my state. And we're building assemblies, and we are looking at building grand juries from a de jure government status. And this is because we, the people, have, like you said, we actually have a branch. We have a standing. We have something that's unique to the people. And we are being taught basically the law backwards, and we're being told that this is where we are. But the reality, when you look from the beginning, right, like we are right now, you realize that you actually have a standing, and
the highest standing.
The highest standing, and there has been a very recognizable effort to destroy that for the people, so that we don't know that we have that standing, so that whenever we try to assemble and come together to form these types of juries, we are targeted, and we are you know, sought to be destroyed, basically. So there is a real war against the people.
Can I explain that war?
To keep
can
us,
yes. See, your point is amazing because it deals with the psychology of the people. And what you're explaining is how there's an active attack on anyone who tries to restore a Republican form of government.
Right.
See, the people, we're not really the fourth branch. We're the highest. We're outside of branches. Right. We are the power. We are the creators. Government officials have 3 branches, right? Executive branch, legislative branch, and judiciary branch. Now, what happens is they want us to feel like we're on equal footing with them, like they're a king, and we're the subjects who are equal with the king. They want us to think that we're a branch like them. We're not a branch. We are the pillar. We are the highest. We are the source of power. We granted power. So what happens is that they want us to believe that they have power over us. Why? Because the bar members make money off a multitude of cases. If you look at Hillary Clinton, they got money from those cases that they did with child support after creating ASFA. So their whole goal is to make more and more opportunities for conflict and controversy. If they get us to believe that they have the power to sue us, if they make us believe they have the power to take our cars and auction them off, they get wealth untold. So when we try to come together to assemble, they're mad because they don't want other people to find out their authority. See, when people say, what's our remedy? It shows that their understanding is bent already, because the remedy is entangled in the people knowing the truth. This is why they fight you, so you don't know the truth. This is why in school they don't teach you the truth. This is why the gurus who are hired by the elite come into our movements and don't teach us the whole truth. Because if you ever find out where to see where the common law is, if you ever find out where you can really stand on it and where you really have all the power, it immediately erases their power. It erases it. So remedy comes with people knowing that they actually are the power. The reason that everybody is failing is because they don't know they're the power. And the thing that the government is trying to do is stop you from believing you are the power. They call it 1 or 2 of you sovereign citizens, or a couple of hundred sovereign citizens, and shame you by teaching the people that you're crazy and you don't follow the law. But when did they stop and slow down and tell us that there's two branches of law? The common law for the people and the statutory law for government officials. Why didn't they tell us that? What do they mean, the law, when I just showed there's two different branches? See how dirty that is? Yeah. You don't want to follow the law. Hold on, player. You need to tell me which law we're talking about. Are you trying to force a law on me that don't apply to me? Okay, does every law apply to me? Okay, so there's a law in the Constitution that says that judges will be able to sit in their seats as long as they have good behavior. Okay, so does that mean I get to be a judge tomorrow? Right. Because if it applies to everybody, it applies to me. So tomorrow I'm gonna be a judge and I'm freeing everybody's kids. All right, tomorrow I'm gonna be a judge.
They use whatever is convenient for their agenda, because there is an actual agenda and group of people that are trying to establish a tyrannical hold on the people.
That's right.
Whether you're not familiar with that or not, that's actually truly happening. But,
yeah. Now you gotta think about this. The law right here says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So my question is, if your kids are a liberty interest and your job is a liberty interest and going to work and providing for your family and being married is a liberty interest, how in the world are they telling you you can't freaking go to your job now? How are they calling you non-essential? Your job is essential. It's a liberty interest. That's why it's essential. They say, David, why do you want to have an AK-47? Why do you need all those guns? Because it's essential. It's a liberty interest. That's why. Right?
And for
liberty is essential in America.
Right.
Now, if they can't take your kids without due process of law, how in the world, and they don't get to write in their statutes what due process of law is. Because their statute ain't common law. It don't matter to us. What the freak you write for your people, it don't apply to us. I just proved it, right?
Right.
So if you can't take anything from a person or one of the people without due process of law, how are you just going around collecting kids because you got concerns? You see how much power we got? Any attorneys in the house that want to argue with me yet? Or any judges? I'm sure some attorneys are watching. Trolls, you can argue too.
Hey, I've been watching you for a little over a year now, and I haven't seen anyone be able to refute or in any way prove anything you've said was false. So if that helps anybody.
Let's go back one. I'm going to show y'all what due process of law looks like. Okay, so you see Section 5. They wanted to kick y'all out of California and tell you you can't be down here petitioning, right? You can't be down here telling the legislature quit picking with us. You can't be down here with a whole bunch of people peacefully assembling. Let's see what it says. The right of the people, the right of petition and of the what?
The people.
Okay, the people peaceably to assemble for the common good. What they want shall never be abridged. So how attorneys telling y'all they can send the cops out and push y'all away?
Some of us were removed.
What do you think will happen when the people all realize that they don't have the power to do that?
Right.
That's going to be a big problem, ain't it?
For them,
my page is David Jose. All right, let's go back one, and we're going to look at the next common law bit. Watch this, y'all. Let's go down to 8. No person, so that's if you're a government official on time off, you're as one of the people, you're always in the private. But watch this. No person shall be disturbed in his private affairs or his home invaded without the authority of law. This law that it's talking about is not statutes. It's the law that exists right now. When the Constitution was made, there was no statutes. So they don't have the power to disturb you or invade your home that's in the private. So somebody tell me how they just talking about we gonna run up in your house with some COVID junk.
Can you explain a little bit what is the process, the due process of law?
So the due process of law is, first of all, the Bible, this comes from the Bible and common law. If somebody wants to say that you harm them and it's not a situation where it's an emergency, where everybody witnesses it and sees it, they have to give you notice. Right? They have to give you notice that, hey, look, you're harming me, you're doing something wrong, right? Then you want to have witnesses, but if it's not actively happening, you give them notice along with a witness saying that you're taking an oath that something is true. So notice when somebody wants to take your property, right? They have to come with a warrant. The warrant must have probable cause, meaning there must be evidence that you were harmed. That warrant must be accompanied with an affidavit, which is an oath or affirmation that somebody did something wrong to harm you. If somebody doesn't give oath or affirmation that somebody did something wrong against somebody, nobody should even be approaching you in your private affairs.
Because then they're going based off of hearsay, which is
They're going off of hearsay.
words.
Now, an affidavit needs an affiant. An affiant is somebody who has firsthand knowledge of the facts and swear that they're telling the truth. So if CPS wants to come take your kids, they have to have a witness that say you harmed somebody, to have an affidavit signed under penalty of perjury saying that you'll go to jail if you're lying. And then it has to be probable cause that something happened, which means there must be some evidence of damage or somebody harmed. So go ahead.
I just want to point out that this is something that I believe it's in the social, just in a whole social scheme, larger scheme. We need to take responsibility for complaining about others, right? Like some of the city mayors were encouraging residents to basically call in on other people, right? Like
Karens, yeah,
snitching on others and all that. Like that's the type of thing that is actually wrong, right? Because that's like gossip and it's hearsay, and you're not taking responsibility if you're calling anonymously saying that, you know, children are being hurt, but then you're not willing to sign under perjury of oath that you're saying the truth. And that's actually the key there, because many children are being removed from their homes based on hearsay and based on an anonymous type of tip. So
well, let's take it further.
Responsibility for that.
So somebody who's not there is making a petition to go pick up a kid, which is no firsthand knowledge of the facts.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Wow.
So now let's take it further.
And then they just claim they're doing their job.
Yeah. So let's say if you had somebody who was physically watching a kid getting beat up, bleeding, tore up, right? What you can do is you can go right there and snatch the kid and take him to a police officer and show that, hey, this kid was getting beat up. I jumped in to protect him. I'm away from the threat. Anybody could do that. But if a man can't do something, he can't hire somebody else to do it. So if a man is not allowed to kill you, he can't go hire somebody else to kill you. If a man can't take your kid, he can't go hire somebody else and give them authority to take your kid. The government only has the granted authority that we give them. Right. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have the power to take kids against the objection of parents, ever. Mm-hmm. It says your kids are liberty interests in Sandra Day O'Connor 2000 case, Troutson versus Granville. So if your children are liberty interests, having the care, custody, and control of them, how could somebody come take them from you without a jury of your peers, showing that you killed somebody or did something crazy and you should be in jail? You see how dirty it is? They don't have the authority in the first place, but they trick people to believing they do. And then they come do stuff without freaking right, because we don't know. And this is why they say we can't give you legal advice in a single court case, because if you ever found out, you might tell other people and destroy their scam.
Well, I hope to do that. Destroy their scam.
You see? So let's look at something deeper. So you see where it says they can't disturb you in private affairs or home invaded without authority of law, right? Now, everybody's running around scared of the ASFA. Oh, this big bad ASFA, Adoption and Safe Families Act. It gives them the authority to take your kids in your private family affairs. They could just remove them. They could do whatever they want to do, right? Go to the picture for me. Again, there's the pictures of the affidavit I have. And I'm gonna show y'all something because people don't understand why I do what I do. And they'll say it's stupid and it's dumb, but they don't know the common law. They don't know the law. They're not teaching anybody the law, but they want to bound everybody else by it. So if you look at the top of the affidavit, it says, comes now affiant, me, one of the people who got firsthand knowledge of the facts, right? David Jose Romero, one of the people. So I present that I'm coming as one of the people to let them know, just like in the Declaration of Rights, that show that we have all the power. That's the position I'm coming in. I'm not a person. I'm not one of your government workers. You don't have power over me. I tell you that it's in this court of record. A court of record moves by the common law. And I'm giving them notice, making the following claims and giving notice of the following facts that all government officials and private contractors may give due care. So I'm letting them know, hey, I know what position you're in and I know what position I'm in. I'm going to let you know so we don't have a stupid problem where you're trying to do wrong against me. And I'm going to prove to you that your own law says that you can't do what you're doing. And then I'm going to smush it in your face and force you to break the law to do what you're doing. For the person who said chemotherapy is on minors is mandatory, you need to define the word minor. Because I can define the word minor for you, and I guarantee you it ain't going to be one of the people. I promise you. Let's go to the other picture. It's going to be like the second or third one that was with the affidavit. Excuse me. It's going to, not that one. Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. I'm sorry. That's it. So let's zoom this one in so everybody can see. All right. So I use paragraph 1 of Georgia Bill of Rights, 1877. It says all government of right originates with the people, is founded upon their will only. Did y'all know that the government is founded on your will only, not the legislature's will? Did y'all catch that? It's founded on the will of the people. They keep trying to tell you what they want to do, and they're getting paid off by companies. Vaccine companies are paying for their elections, giving them money and kickback. And then they do whatever they want them to do. And then they try to tell you what you can do. Yeah, I'll define minor. Matter of fact, I'm going to do better than just me defining minor. Remind me in a couple of seconds, Edwin, because I'm going to show you guys what their definition of minor is. Remember, there's a difference between people and person. A person is one who is in contract with these actors, a corporation, a corporate entity, association, and the such. And I'm going to prove it to you. Look at this. Public officers are the trustees and servants of the people and at all times amenable to them. They're your servants, y'all. They're your trustees. They can't freaking do anything without your permission. They don't have the power to make petitions to take your kids, take your car, take your house, take your dog. They don't have it. Let's scroll down. Watch this, y'all. This is going to be good. I think it'll let me scroll too, huh? No. Let's go down a little bit more. So this is going to tell that children are a liberty interest. I'll just read it. I'll read this case law for y'all real quick, just so y'all can get good understanding. The U.S. Supreme Court on the issue of grandparent visitation rights in the 2000 case of 530 U.S. 57, which involved a dispute between a Washington state mother and her ex-boyfriend parents. Now this show you your dang grandparents don't even have power to take time from you with your kids. So dang well, some stupid social worker don't have the power to do it. They're just lying to you. When Brad Troxel, the children's father, died in 1993, his parents informed the mother, Tommy Granville, that they wanted to maintain a relationship with the couple's 2 daughters. Now watch this. Remember them statutes that they call law? Are they always right? Do they really have the power they say they do? Do they have the power to take your kids, or will they just act like they do? Let's see. Washington law at the time allowed any person. Y'all see that in quotes? Did that say any one of the people? Any person to petition for visitation at any time, watch this, and gave state courts discretion to grant that visitation when it was in the child's best interest. Child's best interest don't exist anywhere in the law. Giving state courts discretion shows you that the state court will take discretion, act like they got the power to do something, even when they don't have it. Watch the next paragraph. But the majority of the Troxel court struck down the state statute, is not a law, state statute as unconstitutional, finding it interfered with the parents' rights to raise their children as they please. Did y'all know y'all got a right to raise your children as you please? Did you know under the common law you got a right to give your kids shots or not? Did you know you got a right under the common law to take your kids to church 3 times a week if you want to or not? See, this is how dirty they are. Now watch Sandra Day O'Connor prove it and show y'all that your children are a liberty interest. This is why they always want you looking at the United States Constitution and never the state constitution, because it shows you that you have a liberty interest that nobody can take from you except for by a jury of your peers or due process of law. Watch this. Writing for the majority, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor said, the liberty interests at issue in this case, the interests of parents in the care, you get to care for your kids, their health, their spirituality, however you choose. Custody, you having them or not. They talk about they took custody from you. Yeah, that's right. They did take custody from you. They stole it. And control of their children, having them in your possession and control, is perhaps the oldest of the fundamental liberty interests recognized by this court. So why the freak is the Constitution the highest law of the land? The attorneys say they're going to follow the Constitution. CPS is supposed to follow the Constitution. We're going to read that bottom part. And people don't even tell you that your children are a liberty interest. Attorneys are not telling you going to work is a liberty interest. They're telling you you're non-essential and you can't go to work, but you have a liberty interest in going to work. So watch this. We're going to hit something. Let's see, how do I move this? Let's go down where it says Section 401, preservation of reasonable parenting. Watch this, y'all. This is from the freaking ASFA that everybody's scared of. They're like, oh, Hillary said, Bill Clinton said they could take our kids from us. No, they freaking didn't. They lied to you. They made you think the law said that. But we got people who didn't go read it and attorneys who ain't gonna tell you, taking your right from you. Watch this. Nothing in this act, the one called ASFA, or to intrude inappropriately into family life. Why is it inappropriate, y'all, to intrude into family life? Because this is a liberty interest and the constitutions of the state guarantee you will not interrupt with it without due process of law and a jury of somebody's peers. You can't just freaking go taking nobody's kids. Watch this. To prohibit the use of the system down for a second. Okay. To prohibit the use of reasonable methods of parenting. They can't tell you how to parent. So why the freak are they sending you to parenting classes? Or to prescribe a particular method of parenting. The other one said parental discipline. They can't tell you can't spank your kids, but they feel like they could just come into your life and say, we're going to just make you do this or do that. How is that legit? Let's go to the next picture. See, ASFA never said what they said it did. Now I'm going to show y'all the Social Security Act. The act that created CPS tells them they can't take your kids. Look at what it says at the top. Nothing in this act shall be construed as authorizing any federal official, agent, or representative in carrying out any of the provisions of this act. What act? The whole Social Security Act. May take charge of any child, over the ejection of either parent of such child or the person standing in loco parentis to such child. So right here, it shows that they're stealing your kids from you and the government has no power to do it. It's a freaking provisions program. It says, just like the Constitution says, they cannot take a liberty interest from you at all if you say no. Are y'all catching this? This is the common law. This is the common law. And people are not telling us this. They're playing games People sit up here debating each other on Facebook over what the law says, and we're not breaking this stuff down and looking at the simplicity that our forefathers left. We got remedy. Let's go back, Sandra, to the Arizona law again, the statutes. And I want to define person as I promised I would. I'm sorry, I want to let them define person. It's going to be azledge.gov. Well, actually, you can go back one more. One more to that one you were at before, the first one. Again. Okay, this one, yeah. Okay, so go down to where it says 215 definition. Somebody said define person, right? Is that what somebody asked me to define?
It was minors, minor.
Oh, minor, okay. So go to where it says minor. Now let's see if it says people or person. Minor means a person under the age of 18 years. You see how dirty that is? Let's look at what minor children means. Minor children means persons under the age of 18 years. They're going after those statutorily created entities called the birth certificate and the social security card. Those are persons. Those are not people. Your little flesh and blood children are people, right? You going against the CPS, you need to do it as one of the people, right? Let's scroll up.
Right, we have rights that are not being represented. Where did you want me to go?
Go up where it says people. I mean, no, up, I'm sorry, go up. I'll see, it's at the top. Down a little bit. Now watch this. They're saying action includes any matter or proceeding in a court, civil or criminal, right? Let's see what adult means. Any person who has attained 18 years. See, your birth certificate can mature in 18 years. Your child's birth certificate is a person, a corporate entity created by them. It can charge off debt. It's a business, right? And y'all know what I'm talking about because a lot of y'all kids' persons got bad credit already, right? Y'all know back in the ghetto South, they had people's kids with electricity and freaking utilities in their name, cell phone bills, pagers as a child that didn't hit 18 years. So it's a person. When you go look at your social security, I mean your credit report, that's not you. That's your person, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the games they're playing with us. So let's go back.
And it comes down to consent, right? I mean, that like, I think the driving point is, my God, I can't speak today. The driving point is that we haven't been given full consent of what those papers actually mean, what that
we haven't been given full disclosure.
And we think that when they're coming after a certain person, that it actually means us, flesh and blood people who can actually make decisions and who have actually been tricked to even be part of this. And then that's why they require our consent.
Yes.
And it comes down to
not just require our consent, because here's what they're doing. They're writing contracts in CPS court like you really wrote it sometimes. And then they say the contract is admitted as long as nobody denies it's there. Mm-hmm. So they're not even freaking telling you somebody forged your name.
Right.
And you need to make an argument saying, if there's a contract there, it wasn't me if they forged it, and I'm supposed to know that they possibly did it, even though I've never been through this before.
Right, because that's how they trap people.
This is why it's important to show our status as one of the people. Because anytime we show our status as one of the people, as I do in my affidavits, they have to use the common law. This is why they say, oh, that old common law stuff don't exist no more. That junk ain't here. So why is it right at the beginning of your statutes, homie?
Mm-hmm.
Why, when I pull to the beginning of your statutes, does it say adoption of the common law? You just want me to be that dumb that I'm gonna act like I didn't just see that. Did it not say anytime you're dealing with the people and the physical conditions and natural conditions of this state, I didn't just see that the rule of law shall be the common law in every court of this state? See how dirty that is? So why, if the common law don't have statutes and you can't, the legislature can't create law for the people, is different from the common law, why the freak are you spitting off a statute every time we walk into a courtroom where you say you want to take something of mine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they try to ignore when you try to differentiate that. And so that's why a lot of people have trouble when they learn this, because you can make a standing, but they'll try to convince you otherwise, so they'll proceed or act like they're not listening to what you're saying, or like, because at least from what I've noticed, every time I've had an interaction, they'll pretend that they didn't hear me, first of all. And then and they're waiting for the people that don't know the full common law or how to fully defend ourselves, they're waiting for you to fall and to say the wrong thing. And as soon as you do, then they take jurisdiction.
There you go.
It comes down to us knowing our rights.
That's right. It's us knowing our rights and us loving each other enough to teach each other. Because that's one of the biggest things. People get the law and want to be the best. To be the best, you have to be a servant. The Bible says the last will be first and the first will be last. So if you want to be looked at as the most knowledgeable law teacher, you have to humble yourself and teach everybody and give them all access and put yourself last. If you do that, you'll be looked at as the best. But those who are looked at as the best usually have the worst result, because people are looking at the ones who say they know, but they're not teaching everybody. So you get like 5 followers or 100, and the courts laugh at you because there's not enough of you to show that y'all all know what they're doing. See, when the nation is taught the truth, it becomes hell to pay. Because all the people watching this right now, I guarantee you, it's going to shake the nation, because people were looking for these answers, begging God for these answers, on their knees praying, sad, broken, and now they got the answer that makes it clear for them, and now they can stand up. You can't stand up until it's made plain. That's what the Bible says. Get the vision, make it plain, so that he who sees it can run with it. People want you to run, but they're not making it plain so that everybody can understand. Now, some people still may believe that I sound stupid when I say the government doesn't make law for you and that we self-govern and that we got all the power and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove it with more common law. The common law I'm going to use is from New Mexico Bill of Rights. So let's put in the New Mexico Bill of Rights. And for everybody on Facebook, please let me know, yes, we can undo the damage done by knowing the truth. And then we come as the people and make claims and approach the legislature and show that they've been making statutes that have been taking our rights, and show where they did it. Down one, New Mexico Constitution, Ballotopia. I'm sorry, Ballotpedia. Ooh. Okay, so here we go. We gonna make this thing super plain, super fire. We gonna go down to where it says Bill of Rights. And then we gonna light fire like fire ain't never been lit before. X. Okay, watch this. Tell me if y'all ever had an attorney tell y'all something like this before. Political power, what does it say? Second one. All political power is vested in and derived from the people. All government of right originates with the people, is founded upon their will only, and is instituted solely for their good. If you don't like something they're doing, you can remove them at any time. Now let's look at section 3. It's gonna get jiggy, right? Section 3 is gonna get jiggy. Please share this, everybody. Also, please let me know if you're understanding this, if it's making sense to you, or if I sound crazy, right? What does it say in section 3? Right of self-government. Oh, wait, hold on. So there's certain ones in a nation, I'm sorry, in a state, who have the power to self-government. That means the government don't govern them? You catching that, Sandra?
Yeah,
That could be crazy, could it? Sound crazy, don't it?
but
Let's
they're
see what it
saying it.
says.
Mhm.
Let's see what it says. The people of the state, the people, did it say the persons?
No.
Government workers? No, no,
Nope.
no. The people of the state have the sole, that means only, and exclusive, just them, right to govern themselves. That means individually, y'all.
Mhm.
That don't mean you got to wait till everybody else comes with you to write an affidavit or make a private injunction to go against these clowns for trying to take your rights, lying to you, calling you crazy, calling you a thavrin thithathin, right? See, you look like a thavrin thithathin because you just say it and you don't show nobody. So if your guru leader shows you by saying you got all the power just because I say so, then that's a problem. That's why you end up looking stupid. That's why you get tased, because you're not going to people one-on-one and saying, hey, you remember that oath you got? See, a lot of y'all say, hey, I got your oath. Okay, well, who gives a freak if you got an oath? Candace Pacino, this is the first time you heard it. I'm sure it's a lot to take in, but read it over, go over this video 100 times if you really care about the law, and then you'll have it perfectly. You're not expected to understand and know something for the first time, but it's the duty of us as men to educate our brothers and sisters. So look, the people of the state have the power, have the sole and exclusive right to govern themselves as a free, sovereign, and independent state. The state is the people, not the government workers, y'all. They just work for the state. So when they say we're the state of Arizona, they're lying. No, they're not. They are the people who work for the state of Arizona. That's why when they want to arrest somebody, it says, we arrested this dude in the name of the people of Arizona. The people are the power, not the government workers. Stop letting them get it twisted with you. Watch this. The people of the state have the sole, that means only, and exclusive is your right just for you to govern themselves as a free, sovereign, and independent state. So when you say you're the highest power, that's different than saying I'm a sovereign citizen, right? You are sovereign as an individual because God gave you dominion over everything. And the independent state is the group of people who are together who have power to control things even individually. So the people have the right to govern themselves. So stop letting everybody tell you that the legislature can write statutes for you. If you got the power to govern yourself, what the freak they're writing statutes for you for? Does that make sense?
Unless you consent and are working directly for them.
Yep. Only when you're on the clock. If you're on the clock
and when you're on the clock,
then you got to be bound. You agree to that.
Right.
Right. Now let's look at section 4, inherent rights, more common law. More common law. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. All persons are born equally free and have certain natural, inherent, and inalienable rights, among which are the right of enjoying and defending life and liberty. Wait, so you can enjoy your life and liberty, your right to have kids, your right to go to work? You have the right to enjoy your ability to go to work. You have defending your life and liberty of acquiring, that means getting, possessing, holding, and protecting property, and of seeking and obtaining safety and happiness. You got the right to be safe, to seek it out. You got the right to seek happiness. If you feel independently, apart from anybody else in your state constitution, that you don't want a shot because it won't make you happy, that's your exemption right there. No government official can tap into and cross, is not lienable, your right to happiness, safety, protecting your property, your liberty interest. So somebody tell me how they're taking your kids, taking your house, taking your car, taking your dog without a jury of your peers, without due process. They can't lien it. They can't lien it. So hopefully, I pray that this is making sense to you guys. I hope you see that they don't have the power to just take your kids. I hope you can see that if they say they have the power to take your kids, they're lying and they stole it.
Mhm.
They stole that power. When they say you don't have individual rights, you got to only have it with the people and take it to the legislature and ask the legislature to change it at the polls. That's a dang trick. Can y'all see that? People say, David, if you want things to change, join the legislature, go run, and then maybe you can make a difference. Shut the freak up. I'm one of the people. We got all the power. Take your
We
lame
got the
behind out
power.
of here,
That's
telling
right.
me I need to go become a servant to exercise my power. You telling me the king got to become a peasant to tell the peasant to stop acting like an ignorant peasant?
They sure would
Shut
like
the
us
freak
to
up.
believe that.
Yeah. So the bar members are tricking us in all cases because we don't know our state constitutions.
Mhm.
Our common laws in there, our bills of rights show that they don't have the power to do anything they've been doing. This is why they don't want you to know it. This is why they say go get an attorney. Because
Mhm.
all the attorneys who scared to come on here and talk that dumb junk right now, they're watching though.
Mhm.
All the dumb judges who are also attorneys, who are afraid to come on here and say you're wrong, the law really don't say that. It's so simple and plain. They know they can't argue with me. So they might come 6 months down the road and say David is an idiot. I'm an attorney, I know, but they ain't gonna argue though.
They've been trying to say that for a while, right?
Yeah, but they ain't gonna say none of this law don't exist.
And can you explain what it is that they do different? You know, these so-called constitutional lawyers, and I'm not disrespecting anyone with good intentions who's actually trying to help the people. But what is the main thing and the first thing that they do that, and I've heard you say it over and over, and it has to do with the 14th Amendment.
Oh, okay. This is a good one. So what happens is the constitutional attorneys keep trying to show y'all the United States constitutions, right? Let's be real. How many of us has ever had anybody bring us into a meeting where they showed you all this stuff from the state constitution, bills of rights and declarations of rights? Don't people always tell you about the Bill of Rights to the United States Constitution?
Mhm.
Why the freak ain't they showing you this where it's talking about you equally free, you got inherent rights? Yeah, Dershowitz with his dumb self talking about the state got the power. You don't have the right under the Constitution to not get a shot. Now here's the problem. The Constitution don't tell them that they get granted authority to give you a shot, except for if you are a person that belongs to them. Now, in a state constitution, you never belong to them.
Mhm.
See, if you look at the top, can you scroll up to the top? It says all political power is inherent in the people. The government comes from the people. Watch. Number 2, all political power is vested in and derived from the people. All government of right originates with the people, is founded upon their will, and is instituted solely for their good. Now, watch this. The constitutional attorneys only want to show you the United States Constitution because if they show you the Bill of Rights, they're in the states, their bar friends are going to get pissed because it says they can't take your stuff. Bar members need cases to make money. So this is why they say, if I stand up for your rights in a CPS case or a child support case, they're going to make me lose my license. They're saying that because they know your rights go exactly against what they're taking from you. So
And
if they
can I
show you
point
the
out
state,
something? Can I
Huh?
point out something?
go
I
ahead.
think it's rather heartless to continue to be in a profession, regardless of you being in danger of losing your license if you know there's something wrong. Now, I understand many people don't know there's something wrong a lot of times. I as a nurse, you know, I vaccinated a lot of children, and I was under the impression that they were safe, and I was continuously told that, you know, geared away from the real answers, right? But when I really found out the truth, that made me conscious. I have a conscience now, right?
Yep.
And this is why they try to avoid. I actually heard today a phone call that was made by, you know, Michelle Walker, president of Law for America. And she was able to make a phone call for to get a child release that they were trying to keep in the hospital via CPS. And, you know, I think that we need to learn how to make those stands, because she was able to get some success from that. Just like she was also able to come in my case, when I was unlawfully arrested in California. And a lot of people kind of are learning to do this, right? Like, we need to unite and be able to call and say, we know our rights. When a mother just gave birth, you may not remember or be able to make that kind of strong standing, or if you're not sure. But if we unite as the people and we teach each other and we learn these things, we can go ahead and make a stand for each other.
That's right.
And so I just wanted to bring that up, because we have to come together as the people and know our rights and know that we need to stand, and we need to, this is why I brought this up. We need to educate the professionals, but there is a culture, and this is part of the training in these medical fields or in CPS fields, where they avoid trying to hear the law and the truth. And you proved this too, David Jose, that they'll try to veer the conversation and say they're not qualified to answer those questions. But that automatically actually shows that they're trying to keep themselves from learning the law and keeping themselves from having a conscience, so that they can keep their job and keep their license. And that's
right.
the problem. You're choosing your personal gain over other people's rights.
Yep.
That's where we are at this time.
You know, can you pull up that 14th Amendment you talked about so I can show people?
Yeah. And so that's why I wanted to bring
put in the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, or click on the United States Constitution.
Say it again, I'm sorry. Where?
You're going to go up to the top and just put in United States Constitution.
And so I brought that up because I literally heard that in a phone call today, as a nurse completely try to ignore the law that was being told, and they just kept passing on the, you know, and this is the kind of things that we all need to learn how to deal with and help others or ourselves when we are basically making a stand, right? Bill of Rights.
Yep. We're going to look at, no, United States Constitution.
Sorry. Constitution.
There you go. Now watch this. This is going to get funny. So let's click on the United States Constitution. So let's see. You can scroll down. Let's see. The Constitution, that should be good. Whitehouse.gov. So let's click on that one. And now we're going to go to the 14th Amendment. And watch what we see, because people keep making these cases and attorneys keep telling us, hey, let's make a 14th Amendment case saying that your rights were trampled. Well, the 14th Amendment says nothing about the Bills of Rights in the state, says nothing about your liberty interests in the state, none of that. Let's see, does it show any of the Constitution there?
There it is.
Okay, let's go down to this.
Learn more.
11 through 27. Let's go to the 14th Amendment. Watch this, y'all. Now, this is going to get deep. So they're going to trick you and trap you with something super dirty. That's
Is that it there?
The wrong one. Go down, go up some, I'm sorry. Up. The other way. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry.
This is 11.
That's the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th right there. Okay, watch this. Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution was modified by Section 2 of the 14th Amendment. Section 1. Now, pay close attention to what this says, because what they're doing here is they're naturalizing everybody through a trust. All right. Does this say we the people?
Nope.
Everybody pay close attention. Does this say we the people? Y'all watching? Can you see, Sandra?
Yes, sorry.
How does this start out?
It says all persons born or naturalized in the United States.
Okay, now watch this. All persons born or naturalized in the United States. Now, So right now, what this is doing is it's talking about anybody born in whatever they're calling the United States, which is really not what people think it is, but born or naturalized in the United States. Now here's where it's going to get deep,
right?
Yes, DC, and subject to the what?
Jurisdiction thereof.
Oh, what did it just say? Anyone born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Now here's the problem. When you are in your state, didn't I just show y'all where it said you're not bound by any government stuff? Didn't it say that?
Sure did.
It said that the people are free and independent and self-governed in the state. That's where your liberty interests are, your common law, your natural rights, your inherent rights, your God-given rights. It says that you are not bound in the state constitution. What the freak they talking about right here? And subject to the jurisdiction thereof. See, you got to be born in the United States or naturalized in the United States. That's the trust one, right? And you must be subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That means whatever they write on a piece of paper, you got to be subject to it. That's why the rules for CPS court, child support court, and all that crazy stuff come out of DC. The Highway Safety Act comes out of DC because they want to rule over the jurisdiction of any person that they call a citizen. Notice in the state, it said, we have all political power and nobody rules over us, we self-govern. These freaking clowns are trying to put you in a trust agreement to have total jurisdiction over your person. That means we can sue you for your money whenever we want to. Now, look at what it says. And subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Well, you only are subject to the jurisdiction, right? You're only subject to the jurisdiction when you are a person working for the government. But they're saying if you are a person born or naturalized in the United States and are subject to their jurisdiction, the very moment you say you're a United States citizen, what are you bound by? Every statute they write. You see that? You're saying that you're subject to the jurisdiction thereof. This is why they want you to make a 14th Amendment argument that you got a right to not get a shot, because you're bound by their jurisdiction. If they say the people in the states are going to get a shot, you got to agree with it because you're bound by their jurisdiction. If they say you're guilty before even charged to a jury, you're bound by their jurisdiction. But in the states, they say you ain't bound by nobody's jurisdiction. You're free and independent. You see the difference? See, this is why these clowns in the law movement who be like, oh, you need to make a 14th Amendment case that says that you got the right to not get a shot. Shut the freak up. If these dummies say that I got to shut down their federal program and they're saying, I'm saying I'm a United States citizen, I'm agreeing to their dumb jurisdiction. I'm not a United States citizen. I'm a national of Arizona. I got rights in Arizona. You can't touch my rights in Arizona. I got the power in Arizona. Screw your 14th Amendment, clown. Right? Now, see, people ain't paying attention to the words.
Right.
Are subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. Reside. If you look up the new definition of the word reside in the states, it means that you're there temporarily handling business, doing commerce. Commerce clause, Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution says they can make laws to take over commerce. That's why everything they say you did wrong is against commerce. They're tricking you. You're a national in your state. You probably ain't even ever been to DC. And they talking about you under their jurisdiction. They're gonna make laws for you. Watch this. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privilege and immunities of the citizens of the United States. Well, where the freak is that at? Where do I find the immunities and the privileges I have? And I don't really want no immunities and privileges. I want my natural rights. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Due process in whose terms? The United States? What freaking rights and life, liberty, and property interests do you have in the United States? Their Bill of Rights surely don't say what the state bills of rights say. You see? So they're assigning jurisdiction over to you in Arizona or Michigan or Cali. That's their jurisdiction made by their statutes. You're saying that you're bound by their jurisdiction, which means you're bound by their statutes. I'm not a corporate employee of them. So I'm not bound by your statutes. I'm not bound by anything. I'm one of the people. I'm free. Now, if I sign up, then maybe you can hold me to something because I'm consenting and agreeing. But other than that, you're off that bull crap. So do we clearly see the difference between, to be a state national, you can do what's called repudiation from United States corporate citizenship and move yourself to what's called, dang it, I'm trying to charge my iPad up because it's about to fall out. And you can do a repudiation and say that you're a national of a state and that you're not a citizen of the United States. Once you say that, what ends up happening is that you can now stand on your rights as one of the people in a state where you got all these beautiful and wonderful protections under the common law that they don't ever want to tell you about and the lawyers don't want to tell you about. So my iPad is about to die and I apologize. I apologize for my iPad being about to die and not being able to reach.
No,
but
I want to just give you thanks before your iPad dies, because I appreciate, and I know a lot of people that are on here watching appreciate your wisdom, and it truly does come down to this, just learning our basic rights, really looking at the words. And I'm very fortunate that you gave me some of these leads a while back, and I've been trying to learn, it's been months now, but it does truly give you a sense of empowerment, and it will give you a sense of clarity to know where to stand. We need to have a strong stand as we the people.
That's right.
Individually and together in order to really win this. There's really no other way.
That's right. That's right. You know, the thing is, they don't realize they got people at home where they can study the law. They made the biggest mistake ever, locking people up at home with clowns like us going out teaching the law, right? You got people teaching the law while people are at home, and we're destroying their false narrative, destroying their fake law, clowning them. The attorneys they're watching right now, and they don't want to say nothing.
Right.
They know they better not say nothing. And that's the thing. And any day they want it, they can get that smoke. The attorneys, judges, whoever, because I'm sick of y'all lying. And all the people who are saying, oh, well, my license, I just can't stand up like you can. Stop being a freaking coward. If you love the license that much, you're going to go to hell with it. You want to keep taking people's rights and kids and destroying their lives and not tell them the truth because the way your school is set up and how much money you spent, you're a freaking clown. I give up all my business. I give up freaking all my life. People can shoot me any freaking day for saying this stuff. And I'm not saying I want to reserve my life. I want to reserve this and that. Stop being a freaking coward. The truth is the truth. Tell the people the truth and let them get their dang stuff back. Let life be made right, because we gonna have remedy. We gonna get more kids back. We gonna get people getting money back for their cars and houses and all the things that these clowns have stole from them. And so guys, I want you to know that the truth is the truth. It is plain, it is simple. If you worried about definitions and you want to find out what words meant, your forefathers put in the Constitution just like it's in the Bible. They'll come with all these silly doctrines that they don't buy that junk. The junk is a bunch of garbage. So I want to thank you guys so much. I want to thank you for having me on, Sandra. I want to thank you for doing the video and letting us use your wonderful platform. I want to thank the people for listening so attentively. I would love for you guys to share this video everywhere. Get it 50,000, 100,000 hits, because it's that important. This is remedy for every.
Oh, we losing you. We lost
y'all
you.
Later.
All right.
I will catch y'all later. My iPad just died, so I lost my good sound. Oh no, it came back. My iPad died and came back. So I will catch y'all later. I think the system might have just kicked me off.
All right. Well,
so,
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, thank you again, and thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I hope that you learned something.
Catch y'all later.
God bless. Bye.